Hey, my name is Liz and I sell on Poshmark, eBay, and Mercari, and today I have a video that is recapping sales from one of my previous videos. So this was a video where I went to an estate sale that was filled with designer clothing. That is not very common for the estate sales around me. You can find amazing hard goods, but you don't always find very good clothing, either vintage or new designer high-end clothing. So this day I picked up, I think it was 40 pieces. We are going to talk about the ones that sold, the ones that are still listed, and this was at the end of October. I'm filming this in the middle of August. I guess 9 to 10 months from when I originally filmed this. So lots of the pieces have sold, quite a few still listed. So let's talk about them. First up, we have a blouse from Jonathan Simkai, white with these ties on the sleeves. Usually this brand is a pretty good brand to pick up, but this top has received very low interest. I have relisted it. I believe everything that has not sold has been relisted once, and I should probably do it again as the seasons change. But that top is still listed. I have it for sale for $85, which is within the comps of what a shirt from them should be selling for. And I do also send out 25% off offers for any like, and then periodically I send out 50% off when I'm trying to move some stuff. So people have received offers on this, and all the pieces that are remaining have received offers. So it's a little tough when pieces like this sit for that long. I don't mind pieces sitting. I promise I won't talk this much for all of them. It'll be a lot of the same information, but I don't mind pieces sitting. I have the storage for things to take a little while to sell. But when you find these really great brands, you kind of hope that they're going to do well. So we'll see how these do as we come up on a year. I may consider sending some of them to either ThredUp or The RealReal as we go along. But for now, still sitting in my closet. Next up is also a piece that is still listed. This is a Lululemon jacket. It's called the Forever Warm jacket. It's black, pretty basic. It's not like a puffer or anything, more of like a flannel-y kind of material, I would say. I have this listed for $65 still. This one has done okay. As we come into fall, would definitely be a good time for me to relist that piece. Also, if I didn't mention, my average cost of goods was about $12 for all of these pieces, so keep that in mind as well. Next is the first pair of Agolde shorts to come up. I believe I had 4 or 5 from this sale that I found, which was great. That is a great style. The only problem was I was listing these pieces at the end of October, so all of the summer clothes did sit for quite a while. And by the time that they started to sell, I was excited for them to go, so I let them go for a little less than I probably could have gotten, but still made fine money on them. So this was the Parker style. These sold for $45, and they were listed for a total of 228 days, but I had actually relisted these, and they sold 68 days after the relist date. Then another piece still listed is a girlfriend top. It's a one-shoulder black denim top. It's called the Kyla shirt. Very cute, but kind of specific. I would say girlfriend doesn't always do great. One shoulder is probably not the best style to sell, but I'm hoping in fall that maybe it will do okay. And that's listed for $60 still. Next is the actually most recent item to sell. It sold this week. That is a sweater from the brand Sandro. It was plaid with around the V-neck was like rhinestones, but not really rhinestones. Like they looked like diamonds set around it. They were obviously not diamonds, but they kind of looked like a solitaire diamond all the way around the neck. That sold for $60, and that took 286 days to sell. That was also relisted. It was probably about 100 days from the relist to when it ended up selling. $60 was a good price. I think that was just an offer sent to me, and that was like a 20% offer. So I was very happy with that, especially with it selling in the summer. Next up is a pair of pants from Veronica Beard that I actually ended up sending to ThredUp. I had them listed in my closet for a while, and just about 3 weeks ago I needed some space in some of my bins, so I was doing a clear out and sending to ThredUp some older items. I looked at these, noticed they had just one like in over 200 days, which is not great. So I figured we'd send them there, see how they do, and hopefully, more than make my money back on them from ThredUp. Next is a piece that I thought would do better than it did. This is a denim skirt from Mother, but it's a longer denim skirt, which has been very popular this last year. It was called the Peg skirt. It sold for only $32, and that was after me relisting it. So it sold 45 days after being relisted and 215 days total. So I thought that that was gonna fly out of my closet, as well as another denim maxi skirt that I had, but they both ended up not doing nearly as well as I hoped. Then a piece that's still listed is this LoveShackFancy Ganni hat. It's a winter hat, super soft, high quality material. It retailed for some crazy price. I have it listed for $50 in my closet, and I fully am confident that it will sell as winter comes. I wish it was cuter colors, but it's just gray. But LoveShackFancy still very popular. I'm positive that will end up doing okay. Then also LoveShackFancy is this cardigan, the Avignon cardigan is I think how you say it. It's got a crazy fabric blend of amazing materials. It retailed for, I want to say like $300, over $300. So I have it listed for $195, and it does have a lot of likes. Even after being relisted, still got a lot more the second time around. I could recheck the comps and see when I relist that if I should drop it to say $150 or something. The comps were definitely there when I listed it almost a year ago, but maybe they've gone down. But either way, I think that should sell this winter. Next is a sweater from the brand Intermix. This is a piece that I would say I maybe could have left behind the day of the sale. Intermix is a site similar to Revolve that sells house brand but also other designer pieces. I think they had quite a lot of clothes from Intermix, not just Intermix brand, but I saw a tag or two from Intermix as well. So it seemed like it was somewhere they like to shop. But this was a sweater, or is a sweater, that has like studs or buttons kind of down the sleeves. I'm gonna say it's a little dated. It's a nice blend of like wool and cashmere, but still listed for $50 in my closet. I'm guessing this one is gonna sell on the lower end, maybe around $25. So probably could have left that behind, but I think in the end it'll be fine. Next up is another piece that I definitely should have left behind, and that is this Max Mara shirt. It's like a half sleeve kind of fitted material shirt. The material almost reminds me of like Chico's Travelers material. I was just caught up in the moment. Max Mara is a great brand, but this is a very basic style, not something I could find a stock photo of, and it's not my size, so the picture isn't, the best picture ever. Listed for $40 still, and I'd be happy to get $20 for it. These I'm really hopeful will sell this fall. These are Stuart Weitzman like over the knee Dunkirk boots in a kind of chestnut brown. Overall in very good condition. One or two little scuffs. I still have them listed for $195 in my closet, and I'm definitely gonna relist them in the next like week or so to try and get that fall sale of people looking for fall boots, and Stuart Weitzman high boots are definitely popular. Then next up is the most expensive piece that I found, and I think I ended up paying $70 for this. They had it listed for $200, and I just made them an offer when I went back on the last day of the sale, which they usually do discounts on the final day of the sale. This is a wedding dress. It's from the brand Solace London. It's like a straight dress, sleeveless, strapless, but has these big puff sleeves that you can wear or not wear. It retailed for, I think, around $900 or something. I have it listed for $600. It's gotten many likes over the last year or so and has been relisted. I would definitely take less for it, but I have it listed in the price range that they should be. So I don't think I'll decrease the price on it. You just have to wait for the right buyer with this. And I honestly think that the girl probably didn't wear this as her wedding dress. I'm guessing this was a rehearsal dinner or a second look or something. Based on all the other clothes and everything in the house, this would have been a very simple look for what they all seem to like. So I've kind of branded it as that, as well as it could be, a secondary look, not a main wedding dress. But I think eventually it will sell. It's in beautiful condition. It was on like the dry cleaners hangers and had been freshly cleaned. I've never sold a wedding dress before, so hopefully this one will sell soon and be the first time I do. Okay, next up was, I believe, the fastest sale of everything. This was a dress from Self Portrait. It was the Eliana style. It was like blue and yellow lace, very intricate, very, very expensive brand. Definitely make sure that is one you know if you aren't familiar with it. This sold for $100 in 3 days, which was awesome. It was probably a slightly more expensive piece when I picked it up. But I just averaged my prices for everything, so I don't remember how much I paid, but based on dresses versus some of these other things, I imagine that was a bit more expensive. I did grab a couple Lululemon pieces that were more just kind of basic shirts that they had priced for very little. I'm gonna say they were like $4 or $5, which was great. They had tank tops and stuff, but I didn't grab any of those. This was the Reach for the Run top. It's not one I'd ever seen before. It had like a cinched waistband. This sold for $34 in 126 days. It was a fun style. I would definitely grab it again. I don't know if I would have paid the average sales or the average $12 that I paid for all of these for that, but I would definitely pick it up if I was only gonna charge it that $4 or $5 that I technically paid for it. I also picked up 2 Swiftly tops, both long sleeve. The white one sold for $22 in 3 days. Oh, so yeah, that was the second quickest sale. And then the pink one sold for $26 in 24 days. Then I had a bodysuit from Sink Accept. It was called the Estrella style. I had 2 black lace bodysuits. One was off the shoulder, one wasn't. You'll see the picture here. I don't remember which one this one was. But this sold for $60 in 107 days, which is awesome for a top. Sink Accept usually does very well, but $60 for a shirt is awesome. Then this was a quick sale. This was a short sleeve Reformation top. It was like blue and white floral print, had some smocking, puff sleeves, very on trend. Probably could have held out for a little more for this, but it sold for $26 in just 5 days. At that point, I was just so excited about these things, and was probably taking most offers on stuff that was coming in. This was kind of a surprising one. This was the Yasmin tank from ALC. It was kind of a knit tank, not in like a sweater knit, but more of like a, tight knit. This sold for $45 in 30 days, which is way more than I would have expected for a tank top. So I was super happy with that one. Then the other lace bodysuit is this Misa Los Angeles one. This was called the Taylor lace bodysuit. And this sold for $60 in 108 days. So again, a really great price for a top. This brand does not usually do well for me. I have sent it into thread up the last few times I found it because it just doesn't move for me. So to see that price for this shirt is surprising and makes me happy. So we have some more Agolde. These were a crisscross short. So they had the weird waistband where the button isn't equal with the zipper. These sold for $45 in 153 days. And again, this was listed in fall. If I listed these in the spring, they probably would have sold in much quicker time frames, but I listed every single thing from this haul right away when I got them. Then I have the Agolde Reese short. These sold for $35 in 140 days. And then the Stella short sold for $30 in 134 days. So these three all sold within a couple weeks of each other. Doesn't surprise me. I want to say they all sold in March. So right when people are starting to buy spring, summer, spring break clothes, not surprising at all that that's when 3 pairs of great denim shorts sold. Then the other denim maxi skirt was this Agolde leaf denim one. And again, thought this would do amazing. Maybe could have held out. I definitely took an offer on this. I'm sure I had it listed for much more. But this sold for just $25 in 169 days. And this actually may be the sale that prompted me to relist pieces because I may have sent out offers and these had reached the time frame that I put into Posh or VA for when to start sending those higher offers. So I usually do either 90 days or 120 days from when I listed it to when I will offer the higher discount, like 50% off that I do every once in a while. So I'm guessing that that sold at those sale prices. And I said, oh crap, I don't want these things selling for that little. Let me relist them. So note to self, I need to relist things more. That's not something I'm great at, but trying to do a little better at it, and we'll definitely be looking back at these pieces again to do. Another quick sale was this All Saints jacket. It was like a denim jacket with faux fur around the collar. This sold for $60 in just 5 days, which I was really happy about because I hate storing jackets, so getting that one out quickly was great. And also, All Saints is not usually a quick mover for me, so was really happy to see that go in under a week. Piece still for sale is this Veronica Beard tank top. It's called, I think, the Par tank. It's like knitted on top, and then at the bottom it kind of looks like a shirt is underneath it. Probably not the most popular style anymore. Definitely would say I should have thought about that one a little bit more, but was excited to see Veronica Beard caught in the moment. So that's still listed for $60. A baby piece that I got, which they only had a handful of kids pieces, but this one was from the brand Louise Misha, and I found that once since then. Great baby brand to know if you pick up kids clothes at all. This was like a bodysuit that had like a little fluffy skirt kind of attached to it, and a really pretty kind of neutral floral, very modern looking baby piece. That sold for $30 for literally, you know, a scrap of clothes. I was so happy with that, and was really glad when I found that brand again, because I kind of thought it would be a one-off, never find again kind of baby brand. That sold in 82 days. And two other baby pieces, the only two other baby pieces I got were Posh Peanut, and it was a matching swaddle and footy, and I did list them separately in my closet. They were both leopard print. It was like the Lana leopard print, I believe. The swaddle sold for $21 in 80 days, and the footy sold for $18 in 49 days. Posh Peanut is a bamboo kids clothing brand, one I definitely recommend picking up when you see it, especially if you're a bin shopper. Picking up anything bamboo at the bins is guaranteed to do well for you. Next is another bodysuit that's still for sale. This one is from Amanda Uprichard. It's kind of lacy. Again, this one is another piece that I probably should have left behind. It's listed for $45 in my closet. I couldn't ever find a stock photo for it. Amanda Uprichard also is kind of a meh brand for me, so that is a piece that I would definitely consider sending into ThredUp. Another LoveShackFancy piece that sold was this ruffle heritage skirt. It was a white skirt made of like eyelet, really cute, and I couldn't believe that it was still there the second day that I went back, and I don't know how I missed it the first day. I honestly think that they put out some more clothes after that first day, or I must have been like in a crazy rush or something, but I found so many things that second day that I never saw the first day, and it makes me like so crazy that what else could I have missed that then got picked up by someone else. This sold for $67 in 98 days, which I was definitely happy about since that sold pretty much in the middle of winter, which is great for a little white skirt. And a nice quick sale was this Farm Rio cheetah print sweater. It was like a green sweater with leopard cheetah print in the center. Farm Rio usually does really well for me. This is kind of a unusual style for Farm Rio. Not the sweater, but the animal print isn't really what I think of when I think Farm Rio. So that sold for $48 in just 7 days, which was great. I was really happy with that quick of a sale for almost $50. The last pair of Agolde was another pair of crisscross shorts. Those sold for $33 in 136 days. So they were all kind of right in that $30 to $40 range for the most part. I would normally expect them to be closer to $50, but again, like I said, that time of year was probably not the best choice for me to list them, but it is what it is. Then a really good sale was these Mother Superior, which I think is just a line of Mother, but it's a big white tag instead of like the thin little tag where you can barely read that it says Mother. These were the Cruiser Flare jeans, which was a great style. Would definitely pick these up again if I saw them. Those sold for $75 in 63 days, which I was super happy about. $75 for a pair of jeans is awesome. Then I sold a pair of Mother shorts. These were the Tomcat style. I think that's the first time I've ever found Mother shorts. And they sold for $60, which I was pretty impressed with. I would definitely find more Mother shorts if I could. I was surprised that they did better than Agolde actually. And they sold in 98 days, so they were one of the first pairs of shorts to sell, and to go for that high was really great. Then we had a vest from Wilfred from Aritzia. This was the Desire vest. It was brown in their super soft faux leather that feels like real like lamb's leather. This sold for $50 in 35 days. Great style for fall. $50 for Aritzia at this point for me is definitely on the high end. I'm usually getting more like 25 to 30 for Aritzia, so I was totally happy with that. And I love finding their faux leather. It's seriously the softest material that I don't know how it's faux leather. It feels better than some real leather that I find. Then the last piece is this blouse from Ganni. It was like a white wrap shirt with big puffy sleeves, really cute, great style from Ganni, which I pretty much will pick up anytime I find, which is not often. I wish I found it more, but it usually does really great. This sold for $30, which is not shocking for a top. I would say that I would expect somewhere between $30 and $50 for a shirt from this brand. It sold in 135 days, and again was kind of more of a spring summer style. Okay, now some numbers for you of everything. So I picked up 40 pieces, including the 2 that I kept for myself. 26 have sold and 12 are still for sale, either in my Poshmark closet or that one piece that I sent to ThredUp. And I think that there's probably going to be a couple more that head that way. For the total of everything that has sold before fees or cost of goods or anything was $1,137, which is really great for one haul and still having a couple of the most expensive pieces listed for sale still. So I know this haul is going to be one of my best ever. After the Poshmark fees, which every single one of the things that has sold on Poshmark, which doesn't surprise me, that is my main platform, but I am going to double check that everything that is still available is listed on my other platforms. I'm not always the best at cross listing, so if you're ever looking for something I share in a haul, check Poshmark first. After the fees was $909.60. And then in total, I spent $480 at this sale between the 2 days, which for everything that I got, I think is amazing. So my profit so far is $429.60. So I'm pretty close to doubling my money on this, with a lot of really great pieces still left to sell. I still have $1,445 of things listed in my closet. So that is a lot of room left to go. A good chunk of that is the $600 dress, but I'm very confident that I'm going to get over $300 for that when it does eventually go. So my average sales price for everything that has sold was $43.73, which is definitely higher than my general average sales price, which I'd estimate somewhere between $20 and $25. I don't know off the top of my head. Then the average sales price profit after fees and cost of goods, I made $25.38 per piece. And the average amount of days it took to sell was 96.8, which I would guess is probably somewhat average in general for my closet. Some of these pieces did take a rather long time, and that's of course not including the ones that still haven't sold, which this will only go up from here. I would not be surprised if that is somewhere around my average days to sell. That is a stat I would love to find out. I should definitely do that math. Yeah, so overall, I think this was a really successful haul. Just a couple pieces that I wouldn't pick up again, and it's not so much that they're a total disaster or they had big flaws that I missed or anything. They just are probably not pieces that are worth that average $12. I would maybe grab them at the bins for $1 or so, but in the end, you can see I've done really well with this haul, and hope this was interesting to see how some of these higher end brands have done for me. I know we all are always looking for them, but are they actually selling? So I would say yes, they are. And hopefully in some what sold videos in the future, you see the rest of these pieces going. So thank you for watching. I'll link the original video in case you want to check that out. And I will see you next time. Bye!